the rates for pancreatic cancer are actually going up.
Today, it's one of the deadliest forms of cancer and has claimed the lives of legends.
And it spreads so quickly that we can't get to it oftentimes.
The top 3 ways to cut down your risk. Plus,
the man that raised me was not my biological father.
Surprising ancestry DNA results.
What else did you find?
My half-brother.
So I got a little surprise for you.
Coming up next. Season 10 starts now.
Today, a show that may save you from one of the deadliest diagnoses out there, pancreatic cancer. It recently claimed one of the most iconic musical geniuses that has ever lived, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, whose voice gave us a different kind of healing. It also took the life of tech visionary Steve Jobs, another person stolen from us, along with countless loved ones taken too soon from this disease. A major message of this show over the past 10 years has always been about what you can do to take control of your health right now. So today, we're putting you at the forefront of the latest cutting-edge information with a never-before-seen tour of your pancreas. It's big, it's sometimes scary, but you can understand it. And revealing what the country's cancer researchers are saying are the top 3 ways to cut down your risk of dying of pancreatic cancer. Because, my friends, this is your pancreatic cancer offense team. Dr. Shaalan Beg. Shaalan is an oncologist at UT Southwestern in Dallas, part of the National Pancreatic Cancer Task Force, standing by with the latest cutting-edge research. In our Cancer Forecast Center, oncologist specializing in gastrointestinal cancers, Dr. Allyson Ocean from New York Presbyterian Hospital, Weill Cornell Medical Center. And leading oncology nutritionist Rachel Beller, who has worked on a cancer intervention trial and is here with the best cancer-fighting foods to reduce your risk. Let's start with the very latest of what you need to know right now about this deadly cancer. Dr. Beg, pancreatic cancer has been in the headlines a lot. It's taken the lives of some very precious Americans, but countless others that I can't mention all by name on the show. So what is it that's breaking news about this? What's changing? What are the starting headlines about this cancer?
More Americans will die of pancreatic cancer this year than from breast cancer. So pancreatic cancer is the 3rd most leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the United States today. But by 2020, we predict that pancreatic cancer will become the 2nd leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Because while the risk of lung cancer and colon cancer and breast cancer is going down, the rates for pancreatic cancer are actually going up. You can see a melanoma, you can feel a lump in the breast. So those cancers give us a chance to identify them early. And those patients then have more options available to them. The pancreas is hidden back in the belly. It's hard to identify until it's too late. And they're not good early detection strategies.
So I gotta say, when I first started practicing medicine, I was intimidated by cancer because we couldn't do that much about it. But we made such huge progress in so many cancers. But pancreas, it's elusive. It's slipping through our fingers, which is why it's going to become the 2nd deadliest cancer by 2020. And you mentioned the location. Let me explain to you why this is so vital. Who knows where their pancreas is, everybody? All right. If I put your hand inside your body, a lot of you would have trouble finding the pancreas. That's the issue. So I'm going to take you on an intimate tour of your pancreas. Because it's in here, it's deep inside of you. And if I roll you around, you'll see that no matter where I look from, it's always so far away. There it is, that little yellow thing. It's deep around your intestinal tract, right below it. And it does 2 things. It secretes enzymes. All that green stuff is enzymes coming out that digest the piece of salmon you may just eaten, hopefully, right? And if it wasn't for your pancreas, you wouldn't be able to break that food down and make it into the carbs and the proteins and everything else you need. The next task is the hormone. Insulin, that little stuff coming out. Without insulin, your sugar's too high, it's too low, it's never quite right. But with insulin, it's perfectly positioned right in the middle. That's what you want. Right? So 2 things it does. It secretes enzymes to digest your food, and it's very important for regulating your blood sugar. But because it's so deeply located in you, and because all the key organs are right around it so it can do those other functions, it's hard to figure out you got a lump there until it's too late. And it spreads so quickly that we can't get to it oftentimes. Which is why sometimes we end up with this. Dr. Beg is waiting with an organ. I don't think I've shown a pancreatic cancer to you guys in a long time. Certainly, I don't remember ever showing one that is this large. But that little dainty organ that I showed you in that animation, there's the intestinal tract wrapping around it. This little bit here, that little bit of stuff there, That's the only pancreas left. Everything else has been replaced by cancer. This is what pancreatic cancer looks like. And it is difficult to imagine getting this out without doing devastating damage to your body, which is a main reason we need to focus on preventing it in the first place. Let's go over to Dr. Ocean, who's in our Cancer Forecast Center with the latest and most current information about who's at risk for pancreatic cancer. Because one of the biggest clues we'll have to use to at least try to get there ahead of time if it starts to grow. So you just heard a disturbing statistic that pancreatic cancer is increasing in frequency. What are these startling danger zones? Where are the people that ought to be worried?
There are three major areas that people need to think about and worry. First is obesity. So early adulthood obesity is a problem, and it is a known risk factor for pancreatic cancer as well as other cancers.
Again, because the fat cells send hormones around, maybe they cover up the pancreas. They could do a lot of things. We don't know exactly why, but it's a concern. All right. Second, you say African Americans are especially at risk.
Definitely. Actually, the African American population has a 50 to 90% higher risk of developing pancreatic cancer than any other racial group.
My goodness.
We actually don't know why. It's a combination of genetic factors, environmental factors, but it's very alarming. And it's not a lot of people know about this, that it's very prevalent disease in the African American community.
And finally, there's diabetes. And I mentioned that one of the things the pancreas does is to secrete insulin. So why does diabetes mean that you might have pancreatic cancer or a risk for it?
So diabetes is both a risk factor and also a symptom of pancreatic cancer. So you can have long-standing diabetes and develop pancreatic cancer, but what's very interesting is late onset diabetes. So getting diabetes later in life can actually be a symptom that it's about to develop. About 1 out of 125 late onset diabetics will go on to develop pancreatic cancer within 3 years.
Well, think about this, almost 10% of the population is diabetic.
Exactly.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
So what do you recommend? What are the cancer experts like you saying as advice to people who fall in one of these danger zones?
It's really, really important to correct the things that you can correct. Obesity, watch your weight and eat well, exercise, and make sure that your plate contains 2.5 cups of fruits and vegetables a day.
You know, I don't like to give sort of nebulous advice. 2.5 cups of vegetables, very clear advice, right? 2.5 cups of produce, make sure it's on your plate. It's one of the ways that your mom said would work. Now I've got cancer experts saying it'll work as well. Give it a shot. All right, up next, I'll find out the surprising green power food that may help you lower your cancer risks. And no, I am not talking about kale, even though I love it. Thank you, Don.
Hang on 1 second.
All New Oz. The reality show surgeon accused of drugging and raping multiple women and his girlfriend, his suspected accomplice. Numerous victims have stepped forward. Could there be hundreds more? All New Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow.
We're back with the 3 ways you can reduce your risk of one of the deadliest diagnoses out there, pancreatic cancer. There's a surprising power green that research says reduces DNA damage to your cells. Now, our pancreatic cancer offense team is back. Dr. Ocean, Dr. Beg, along with nutritionist Rachel Beller. So, Dr. Ocean, tell me about this watercress, the latest research on it.
Watercress is part of the family of cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. And a lot of studies have been done which has shown that there's a protein inside of it that reduces the amount of damage that happens to DNA. When DNA gets damaged, that can lead to cancer. So it's reducing that amount of damage. It's also inhibiting pathways that lead to the growth of cancer.
Doesn't look like broccoli to me. For some of you broccoli haters out there, it might work. It's sort of sweet. So, you know, I don't know if you know about this, but watercress was actually a very ancient green that was loved by Hippocrates. You know who Hippocrates was? The father of medicine. He would always say, I want my hospital next to a stream because watercress grows next to streams. It was these fresh produce to give to his patients. But I must say, my go-to green is kale. So compare this head to head, be honest.
It was my go-to green as well, but now it's watercress.
You've turned on kale.
Not the other one. No. But it's excellent. I mean, kale's a little bitter, and this is a little bit peppery. It reminds me of arugula. And my absolute favorite way to use it is as a power-up. You take an excellent meal, a cancer-fighting meal, perfectly set, and you top it with a power green. It's just an excellent power food for cancer-fighting properties. So.
All right, let's move on to the next big recommendation that all of our cancer experts are telling me, which is we have to rethink the proteins that we're eating and use more plant-based proteins. So Dr. Beg, explain why that's important.
Yeah, a lot of my patients ask me the same question because when we think about protein, our mind goes to animal. But there's a very strong way of getting enough protein in your diet from plants by themselves. So plants and nuts. When you're thinking of protein, think of plants and nuts as well as animals.
Yeah. Now, I guess, again, I'm a tofu person, Rachel, right? And most people don't want to go to tofu when they think about vegetarian protein. So what do you recommend?
You don't need to. Plant-based proteins have come a long way. We think edamame, organic edamame. You can use one of the things I do with my patients is do a 50-50 split. Quinoa and lentils. 1 cup has 10 grams of fiber, 13 grams of protein. That dynamic duo is just a recipe for perfection when it comes to cancer-fighting properties. You really want to think about your proteins and what kind of return they can yield for your health, for cancer prevention, which meat doesn't offer that. I'm not saying that it's not okay once in a while, but really plant-based proteins are powerful.
Especially for something like pancreatic cancer, which is so hard to catch.
Yes.
Once it leaves the barn, so to speak.
Yes.
We need to act proactive. Now, you surprised me with something that I never thought people go out and they buy seedless watermelons to avoid the seeds. You're actually arguing that watermelon seeds themselves might be the new protein, plant protein, that we're going to fall in love with.
Absolutely. I love this and use this with my patients all the time. It's so easy, it's portable. Easy to digest.
I trust what you're saying, but I want to verify. So please pass that along. I want some honest opinions. Keep going.
No, it's great. So about 1/3 of a cup is going to have 13 grams of protein, plant-based proteins.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And it's easy.
And it's the inside. I tried by mistake because I took you literally. I tried chewing on these things. I broke a tooth. I fixed it now. But that's not fun. But this is the inside, the seed part.
This is the inside.
Yeah.
And
don't just say delicious. Give her a heart. Do you like it?
It's really good.
It's good.
It is really good.
I know what you're saying already. Delicious.
It's delicious and it's crunchy and it's fun to eat.
So here's a question for everybody.
Yes.
Where do you find these darn things? And how do you get the little seed out of the black thing that we don't like to have?
They do it for us, but you can order it online or at a health food store. It's just something that's there, and it's so easy.
10 years ago, I remember on this set talking about quinoa. And most of you said, I don't know how to spell it, right? I said, kale, you laughed, right? Yogurt, Greek yogurt, less than 1% of all the yogurts. Now it's more than 50%. So you guys catch on quickly. This will be the next hot thing for season 10, watermelon seeds. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Up next, what our cancer researchers say they drink to reduce their risk of pancreatic cancer. Stay with us. Where'd it go? I love getting to talk with you on my show every single day. But when the cameras stop rolling, the conversation is not over. I still have a lot that I want to talk about. So download the Dr. Oz podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We're back with what cancer experts do to reduce the risk of the deadliest diagnosis out there, pancreatic cancer. What do they drink every morning to lower their chances? And what are the latest groundbreaking pancreatic cancer treatments that you need to know about right now? Our pancreatic offense team is back. Dr. Ocean is standing by in our Cancer Forecast Center with some new images. They're going to stun everybody here. This is a big deal, guys. There's a lot of advances being made, but if you don't know about them, you're not going to get any advantages from them. So this year we're exploring on the show the next 10 years. But what's the next big change that's going to happen in that decade that we're looking towards? That's the big question for us. So in pancreatic cancer, what do you hope for?
Well, this is a really exciting time because pancreatic cancer is not a one-size-fits-all treatment for it. We really need to branch into personalized medicine, finding the right drug for that cancer at the right time. And we do that many ways. We take biopsies, we grow up the tumor outside in the lab, and
these are called organoids, by the way. Look under this. This is a tool that Dr. Ocean is talking about. We're standing on this thing. Right. And what is it? This is a baby cancer?
So this is a three-dimensional cancer that is grown after a biopsy is taken of a person's cancer and grown in the lab. This was pioneered by researchers at the Lustgarten Foundation. What they do is they grow it up in medium and make sure the cancer grows out here. And then once it's grown into a tumor, we can test thousands of drugs against it and see what works and what doesn't work. I had a patient who had an organoid growing, and in addition to chemotherapies, you can also test other drugs that you would never even think would kill the cancer. And in this one patient, we actually used antabuse to kill it.
The drug you give to alcoholics.
Absolutely. The drug you give to alcoholics to deter them from drinking alcohol, when it was sprinkled on her organoid, it killed the organoid. It has stem cell properties. It goes against the stem cell. It's very exciting.
So again, we're doing the experiment about what will kill your cancer outside of you.
Right.
So you don't pay the price for it.
Absolutely. Do trial and error out here instead of in here.
All right, so let's just take that. If the average person who's listening to our voices right now goes to a hospital, are they going to do this for them?
Well, hopefully more and more hospitals will start to do it. Any major academic center has clinical trials that relate to organoids, or they can direct you to one.
What I'm hearing is maybe. You can't
Yes.
be maybe anymore.
That's true.
In this country, as great as we are at our medicine,
Right.
some hospitals do this
Everyone
stuff,
should have this.
some don't. You got to ask. Because if you go to a hospital and they can actually take a little bit of your tumor, grow it outside your body, and do the trial and error outside, why wouldn't you want that? But if you don't ask, you're not going to get.
Absolutely.
And that's how we change medicine for the better. All right, and this tool, as the treatment continues to evolve, we'll keep following it. Okay, there's one more strategy that all the experts are recommending to lower your risk of getting cancer. Dr. Beg, what is your daily routine as an expert that you use yourself?
Well, there are many different options that we have. And your go-to food is kale. My go-to drink is tea. And I think historically for the last many years, we've become a society which drinks a lot of soda. There's a lot of data which suggests that maybe soda can increase the risk of pancreatic cancer. We know soda can increase the risk of obesity. So try it. Try a cup. See what you think about tea.
Try a cup of tea, not soda.
Tea.
Okay. Do you drink soda?
Once in a while.
Yeah. Dr. Beg, I'm embarrassed. All right, Rachel, how do we make our own tea? Make it simple for us and put together some of the things that cancer experts are saying are vital to have in a tea.
Absolutely. So this is what I call my power brew. And this is so simple. I basically take a pot of water, about 8 cups. I add green tea, which is rich in EGCG, which is the mega antioxidant found in green tea with lots of cancer-fighting properties. I put about four bags of green tea in the pot of 8 cups. Then I add 4 slices of ginger root, another anti-inflammatory, cancer-fighting properties. Fresh turmeric root, which is amazing. We all know the potential there for cancer-fighting properties. And then one thing that may sound bizarre that's magical is to add a little bit of pepper. Peppercorns or pepper. And what that does is that helps your body absorb some of the EGCG from the green tea and the curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric.
To taste to see if you like it, Dr. Beg.
And then I've got another power tip. If you add a squeeze of citrus, any citrus, lemon, orange, lime, anything, then you can increase the amount of EGCG by at least 5-fold, which is amazing.
I like the idea that simple things like this
Inexpensive.
could make a difference.
Inexpensive.
And no one's going to say this is a big trial. These are things that if the experts are doing them, I'm going to get on board as well. So I toast to you, continued advances
Cheers.
in pancreatic cancer. We're going to put a prevention guide on DrOz.com. Listen, it's taken the life of Aretha Franklin. It's taken the life of Steve Jobs. I don't want to come in after you. We'll be right back. Up next, ancestry test bombshells and revelations that shatter what you thought you knew about the people you love most. It's happening all over the country from a DNA test like this. What shocking family secrets can you find out from a simple swab? Could this little swab shatter your identity as you know it? What if you found out that the person you thought you were was a lie? Millions of you have been trying these at-home DNA testing kits with the hopes of uncovering your family history. But some are getting the shock of a lifetime. Painful truths tearing families apart, rocking people with revelations they never expected, inspiring online support groups for those affected. It's happening around the world every single day. It happened to my next guest, Tammy, and it could happen to you.
My name is Tammy, and I grew up in Fountain Valley, California. I thought it was just a normal family with 2 older brothers. Mom, Dad, they were married for over 50 years. Most of my life, my mother told all of us kids that we were part Native American from my father's side. I would look at myself in the mirror and say, there's no way I'm Native American. And she would always say that her genes were stronger. A couple years ago, I decided to take a DNA test. I just wanted to find out where my genes came from. I took the test, and when my results came back a few weeks later, I was absolutely floored. It was just a bombshell. It definitely changed my life forever.
Tammy joins me now. What did you think you would learn from taking this test?
I took the test just basically out of curiosity. Our folks tell us, what nationalities we are and where our family came from, and my father was American Indian, so of course I was very curious about that, and I just wanted to see what I was made up of.
So take me back to that moment, the moment that you got your results, you first were appreciating what it meant. What happened?
I thought it was wrong. I looked at it and I didn't match up with the people that I thought I was supposed to match up with. So,
For example?
My father that raised me, his side of the family, I didn't match up with any of them. So I asked my brother Greg that I grew up with if he would possibly test, and he said yes. And when his results came back, it confirmed my thoughts that the beautiful man that raised me was not my biological father.
What was that like, realizing that the father who raised you wasn't the biological father?
It was hurtful. I had a lot of questions. It made me love him even more because he was a special man to raise somebody else's child. It raised a lot of questions, and I needed to find out really where I came from, who else was attached on the other side of me.
Why do you think your mom kept that secret?
To keep the perfect family, so nobody would talk. Back then people did different things like that, and she just wanted to keep the family in order. Her 3 beautiful children, and
Now your mom has passed away.
yes.
And she passed away before you made the discovery.
Yes.
So if she was still alive, what would you want to say to her?
I would just like to ask her why she lied to me, why she kept this a secret for so long when I could have possibly had another family out there. What was she thinking? Why did she take that part of my life away from me?
What was your relationship like with your mom?
It was good and bad. They went through a whole spill of years where I didn't even talk to her. But towards the end, we rekindled and we became close.
Do you think that was because she knew?
Definitely. And I think she took a lot of it out on me, which it wasn't my fault. I didn't ask to be brought into the world.
So what do you know about this mystery man that your mother had an affair with, your
Well,
biological father?
This is her diary from 1948 to 1950. She was 14, 15, 16 years old. His name is all over this diary. She met him in high school, and she wound up marrying the man that raised me when she was 16. But apparently she kept an affair with my biological father until what I can calculate about 1963. And
This is a picture of him?
yes. Yes. And I don't know why she had to keep it a secret. That's what I don't understand.
Did you ever speak to that man, your biological father?
No, sir. I never knew him. But she brought him up throughout my entire life.
Have you forgiven your mother for lying to you all those years?
No, not yet. I haven't come into 100% grips with everything that's going on. I'm sure I will eventually, but no, not yet.
How has learning about your true past changed who you are right now? Did it change the way you look at yourself every single day?
Well, just knowing I was lied to my whole life, and I have a whole other side of me. It's not really changed me. You know what? In all honesty, it's made me stronger. It's made me a better person. I want to help people more in this whole subject and scenario.
Good for you. That's not all that Tammy learned about herself. Coming up, the shocking twist in her story that nobody saw coming. Plus, is there more common occurrences like this? Because it is more common than you think. Could it happen to you? Stay with us. Calling all nursing students, the Dr. Oz Show wants to celebrate you. If you're currently enrolled in nursing school, you could have a chance to win $10,000 and be on my show. Go to DrOz.com to enter by November 15th. Today, the DNA test bombshells you have to see to believe. After taking an at-home genetic test, Tammy discovered the man who raised her was not biologically her father. And that wasn't the only hidden secret. What else did you find?
About a month ago, I received an email from a gentleman, and he took the test. His wife asked him to take the test, so he took it, and he said, I think we're related somehow. So I pulled up, his name on my account with the DNA company, and I had to immediately get back to him, and I said, yeah, we're related. You're my half-brother.
Your half-brother?
Half-brother. And this guy spent his entire life thinking he was an only child.
But you called this half-brother, for example. You've spoken.
Oh, we speak every day now.
Every day?
Every day.
What do you talk about?
Life, things we've missed for the past 57 years, just how neat it is. I mean, he has his things that, his ways of doing things. I have my ways of doing things, and we're both stubborn and strong-headed, and it's just beautiful to talk to him.
So you haven't met him, I gather?
No.
Right. So we actually reached out to him, and we asked him if he'd write a little note. So he wanted us to give this to you.
Now you're gonna make me cry.
So if you don't mind reading it to the audience, this is, I think, a very heartfelt letter from him.
Hey, little sis. I grew up with cousins, but my house was my mom and my stepdad. I never regretted my childhood, but I feel like I missed out. I look forward to making up for lost time. When you reached out, my life changed forever. Forever. Thank you for that, your new big brother.
What's it like hearing that?
It feels good. It's nice to have even more family. I grew up with 2 older brothers, and now I have 3 brothers and a sister. It's a beautiful feeling, and I'm so glad that they accepted me into their life.
So I got a little surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Your brother Michael has been sitting right opposite you this whole time, right in front of you, right over there.
Where?
Michael, stand up, please. Come on down, Michael.
Remember when you asked me what I was doing last night?
Fine.
I was kicking back right in the motel room.
I hate you.
So Michael was very nervous outside. So first of all, what do you want to say to him?
Thank you for lying to me last night and telling me you're going to feed your dogs.
Brothers do that sometimes.
2 weeks I had to hide this.
What's
2
going through
weeks.
your mind right now, meeting your sister?
Feeling.
Oh, it's great. Just trying to let it all sink in right now. It's just real hard.
It is hard.
So now that you're here together, what are the questions you've always wanted to ask each other?
We'll do that in private.
All right, come on, sit over here, guys. I'm so happy for both of you. And you said, Tammy, beautifully, sometimes you're not welcomed into a new family. I love the fact that Michael and your other half-siblings are welcoming you. But I want to invite someone who we actually met you through to join us. Because there's lots of stories like Michael's and Tammy's. They're a lot more common than you think. In fact, Catherine St. Clair created a Facebook page to help support those who uncover their own family secrets through DNA testing, and she's here right now. So Catherine, please join us. And kudos to you for doing this.
Thank you.
But I got to start with the most obvious question. I would not have started a group like this unless it had touched me personally.
Oh, it did. When I made my discovery, the first thing I wanted was to find some emotional support somewhere. So
You also had another family?
yes, I discovered that my father who raised me was not my biological father, and the floor fell out from under me. So I looked for support anywhere I could, and there was nothing to be found on the internet that was specifically for people like us.
So what warning do you offer, or thoughts do you offer to someone who's about to get DNA testing, which is becoming much more widely done? Advice that might help them just in case they find something they don't expect.
DNA testing is not for the faint of heart. When I got my test kit in the mail, and I looked at the warning on it, and it said, be prepared because you may have unexpected findings. I looked at it and honestly, arrogantly went, well, that's not going to happen to me. That happens to everybody else. Yeah. So if you're going to take the test, you need to be prepared for anything that you can anticipate. It's a hard thing to even imagine. It's an even harder thing to live with.
Yet through all that, Tammy, let me ask you the biggest question of all. How would your life have been different if you had never done that DNA test and learned your family's truth?
I would have never known the truth. But if you didn't take it, you wouldn't know any different. I knew I was different growing up. I felt different. I looked different from my father. And I'm very glad I took the test. I think it's changed my life for the better because I found new brothers and sister.
Well, I love the new family. Thank you all for being here. We'll be right back. You okay, Michael? Whoa, they are spicy.
Fiery hot chips and Oz investigation. What that spicy red powder is really doing for your insides. All new Oz.
I eat these things. That's coming up Friday. You walk to the skincare aisle of the drugstore and you'll find shelves lined with countless cleansers and serums and moisturizers and creams. With an overwhelming number of products available, how do you know what to choose? Chances are you either grab the wrong product for your needs or you'll walk out dissatisfied and frustrated. Well, that ends today because I'm taking the guessing game out of finding the right skincare product. Here to tell us more is Olay scientist, Dr. Pancreatic, who's here on behalf of my trusted sponsor partner, Olay. So how is Olay working to help us with the confusion, to eliminate it when we go shopping?
So people ultimately want a simple and more personalized shopping experience, and they are confused by the huge variety of skincare products available. Olay research shows that 1 in 3 women do not find what they're seeking. And they'll often end up picking something recommended by family or friends, but everybody's skin is different, so that product might actually not really work for them. So we saw an opportunity to help women understand their own skin better before they even step foot in the store and help remove some of that confusion.
So other than putting a world expert like you in every single store, how does Olay actually provide that insight at the time that you actually need it, which is when you're making the choice?
So we developed Olay Skin Advisor. And Olay Skin Advisor is a skin analytics website that uses one selfie and a brief questionnaire to provide women with a smart skin analysis and personalized product recommendations. It uses artificial intelligence trained with tens of thousands of images and data points to take the mystery out of shopping for skincare products.
What do you guys think about that idea? One selfie and some questions. So far, I'm curious. I want to know what women think about this tool and how user-friendly it is. So help us figure that out. Today, on behalf of Olay, Bustle editor Karen McGrath is joining us.
Hello.
So the audience seems interested.
Yes.
So how valuable will a tool like this be to your readers?
Well, so as a beauty editor, which is what I do specifically, I get a lot of questions about what product should I be using. So with a tool like the Olay Skin Advisor, I can direct them to the Olay website, and then they can take this little quiz, and they get recommendations personalized just for them.
You gonna show us how it's done? You guys interested? Yeah. Take it away.
Great.
Walk us through this.
Okay, it's super, super simple. So first, you just tap to take a selfie, and you should be taking it without makeup, so I took one earlier.
Very modest of you.
Yes. All right, so here we go. Here's me, no makeup.
There you are.
There we go, gonna use that photo.
Yeah, and so now is actually what's happening is what I talked about earlier. The artificial intelligence is comparing it to tens of thousands of images, and you can see how it's running through the different facial zones. So it's looking at the forehead, under eyes, crow's feet, the cheeks, the mouth area. So it's a very thorough analysis, comparing it to all these different data points and coming up with a very, very precise output.
So after you have uploaded the selfie, it asks you to say what worries you most about your skin. So I'm going to say dark circles. That's always been a concern of mine. Then I'm almost 30, so I'm starting to maybe not be concerned about, but I'm thinking about wrinkles, fine lines, and I'll add sagging skin as well. And again, because I'm just about to turn 30, I'm just starting to think about wrinkles. That's really where I'm looking for product recommendations. So that's my top concern. I have combination skin, and already I am using a cleanser, I use a serum, and I use a moisturizing cream. In the morning, I think I use about 4 products, and at night I'll use 3. And I really love a rich, deep feel when it comes to my skincare products. And sure, I will take scented products.
So now it's taking all that information, which is fairly comprehensive actually.
Yes.
But took less than a minute to enter. Yes. Oh, skin age 22.
Skin age 22, which is not how old I am.
High five that. That's nice. So that's based on the selfie analysis.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. And then you also see that the biggest improvement area is under eyes, which is exactly what you had expected.
Can I see that? How do you see that? The big.
Right there.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. And that's why the top recommendation is an eye cream, but I think the most important part of the regimen is always the night moisturizer.
Exactly.
So let's look at what it's come up with there.
So we scroll down to step 5. That's going to be my night moisturizer, which is the Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream.
So Kara, how's this working for you?
Well, so as you saw, the tool is super easy to use. And from that, I got recommendations on Olay.com. And I've been testing the Micro Sculpting Cream for about a week now. And I love it. It has that rich feel that I was really looking for. And I feel like when I put it on at night, I wake up in the morning and my skin looks moisturized. It's clear. It's almost like I can still feel the effects of the cream in the morning, which is very cool.
That goes. You did the test as well. How does your result compare? How different are the results?
It's actually interesting because some of our skin needs or concerns are very similar, although I'm quite a few years older, if I may say that. So you would expect that it also recommends microsculpting cream, which is, after all, our most popular moisturizer. It delivers all these amazing skin benefits like unbeatable hydration, plumping, firming, smoothing, packed with a lot of proven ingredients like peptides and vitamin B3. So you would expect it recommends that to me too, but the one small yet important difference is the difference in skin feel. So she said, I want rich and creamy. I don't like that. I want something that's much lighter. So what it's going to recommend to me, or what it has recommended, what I'm using, is actually the Regenerist Whip. Right. So it delivers the same potent skincare benefits, has the same amazing ingredients, but a very unique formula that means it feels very different and much, much lighter on my skin. And I love that.
Yeah, I like the possibility that because you'll like your skincare regimen, you'll use it. So you'll always have 22-year-old skin.
Right.
Now, in fact, go ahead.
And it's actually, I was just going to say, it's really interesting that, we're learning more and more about, the uniqueness of all these, visitors coming to the site. We've had close to 5 million visitors now.
5 million?
5 million, and they're all very unique, of course, but sometimes the differences are small, just like between the two of us. And that Skin Advisor is so personalized that it can take those small differences into account. I think that's just really amazing.
Well, you have 5,200,000 because now my entire audience is actually using the app. They've downloading their selfies. So, look at it. But here's the thing, guys. You don't have to panic because your skin preference may be what it's going to be. You should maybe choose it accordingly. But we're sending you all home with Olay Regenerist Whips and Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream. Thanks to our sponsorship partner, Olay. Enjoy it. If you want your own personalized skin analysis, head to DrOz.com to learn lots more. You guys were wonderful. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Oz, the reality show surgeon accused of drugging and raping multiple women and his girlfriend, his suspected accomplice. Numerous victims have stepped forward. Could there be hundreds more? All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow. Today, a brand new series that's going to have you saying WTF. And no, it's not what you're thinking. It's What's the Food? And we're breaking down the latest food trends and trying them out so you don't have to. First up, the coffee fad that is breaking the internet and promising to help you drink your daily dose of veggies. It is called Broccolatte. It looks like the broccoli latte. Here to tell us all about it is food journalist and host of the podcast Party in My Plants, Talia Pollock. How are you?
Great.
So I've heard of beet latte, turmeric lattes. There are all kinds of cool ones out there, but Broccolatte? Really?
I love how you say it. You nailed it. Well, you know, juices and smoothies are great, but this is a new way to get your morning buzz with an added dose of vitamins and nutrients.
So how do you make it? You take is there broccoli powder now?
Yeah, so it's just basically dried out, ground up, dehydrated broccoli turned into a powder.
So you don't grind the broccoli in the coffee?
No, you purchase the broccoli powder, yeah.
Put it in the coffee. Blend it up.
Yeah, you blend coffee as you normally would. Take a cup of it, let it cool a little bit so you keep the nutrients in full potential. Add it to your blender and blend 1 teaspoon of broccoli powder into your coffee. Put it back in your mug and sweeten it and add your milk as you normally do.
And I understand you have a hack to superpower it even more. What's that?
Yeah, well, if you're not into coffee, you can ditch the coffee grinds and just add matcha powder instead.
To the broccoli?
Yep.
Oh. So can I see how it tastes?
Please.
By the way, I know you don't always trust me on my tasting, so I wanted to see how we work with my staff, because they have the most discriminating palates. I'd say actually tough palates.
Oof.
Right? So I got Brittany here with my ace producers. What do you think, Brittany? Give it a taste.
Okay.
I'll taste what you do.
Well, we're gonna cheers, right? Yeah. Cheers.
Jenna, you as well. Give it a taste. I want some honest answers here. So Brittany, you tell me what it tastes like, and Jenna, would you replace your coffee that you normally have, your early coffee, with this version? So Brittany, you go first.
Okay, so it's subtle, it's earthy, it's like coffee's telling me a secret, and that secret is maybe there's broccoli in here.
See what I'm saying?
There you go.
Notice you didn't actually know if it's good or bad. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I would do it. I think I would add a little bit of sweetener, maybe a little bit of milk like I normally do with my coffee, and then good to go.
All right, Jenna?
Yeah, I definitely would change up my morning coffee to this. It seems really easy to make and a lot better than eating a salad, so.
I'll tell you, the maca is to die for as well.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Cheers.
Party in my plants.
Yes.
The other change is happening. Our journey is just beginning.